Hey everyone, I'm ShadowRock.
I'm TGP.
And I'm Sapphire Stars 11!
Oh boy, we had quite a day today. The Mega Man 30th anniversary stream just happened, and of course we had announcements such as Mega Man Legacy Collection 2 and 1 is coming to Nintendo Switch. Mega Man X Collection that contains all 8 games is coming to all the modern platforms. And then, of course, they say the best for last. Mega Man 11 is a thing. Oh my god.
Oh yes.
The big one, the biggest announcement of them all.
So how do we begin this?
Let's begin with the I guess the smallest announcement, which was the Legacy 1 and 2 going to the Switch.
So, funny story, in case you guys aren't really in the loop, but when Legacy Collection 2 was announced for the PS4, Xbox One, and PC, the fans went ballistic. They just went on all Capcom social media and continually just bothered them and pestered them for a Switch release. And now they're doing it.
Yep.
So that's cool. They listened and giving us what we wanted.
Granted, a bunch of people got banned, so...
Yeah, apparently, like, don't quote me on this. I don't know if it's true or not, but I heard that Capcom's Facebook page started banning people for asking about the Switch version.
Yeah.
It was that bad?
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Pretty
What
bad.
the heck, Capcom?
Press F to pay respects to all Mega Man fans that day. Or days.
Oof. Yeah. Which, like, just that act, it led us to believe that they weren't going to do it at all.
Yeah.
But apparently the developers came in on the stream, they're like, well, we were disappointed that we couldn't do a Switch version because the Switch came out in between 1 and 2's release. So now we want to do that now. Like, alright. Okay, sure.
So there it is.
So there's that.
There it is. But it's good that they're listening. Like, that's the big thing I take away from this stream, is they're listening to us. If you didn't think they were before, apparently they are.
Yep. Boy, do that.
That's always a great thing. I guess we can move on to Mega Man X Collection, which is new.
If that's the thing. We want to say it's a collection, but they haven't really specified. They just said all 8 games are going to be there.
Yeah. That's weird, right? They didn't say Mega Man X Collection. They just said, oh, Mega Man X 1 through 8 coming to all the platforms.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
So
A little weird how they worded it.
it could be a collection. I think I'm gonna talk assuming it is a collection.
Well, yeah, it's a lot easier to say Mega Man X Collection for now.
But this got me really excited. Maybe just a bit more excited for Mega Man 11, but that's because I'm an X man. Love my X.
I love my X. It's my favorite Mega Man series by far.
The biggest thing to take from this whole thing is we never got a re-release of X7 and 8.
Exactly.
As much as we don't like it, hey, it got something, it's going up, that's cool.
I mean, I'm
And
okay with it.
having all the X games on one platform is going to be really helpful for us specifically, because we do plan to go through all the Mega Man X games and let's play them again. So having all that just right there, ready to go, like, that's just so easy peasy for us.
Hopefully, we'll see how they do it, and whether or not they're just gonna like port it and it'll be bad. Maybe they'll do some adjustments to it. I'm hoping they do, like a little bit, like make it better.
That's the big question mark. Like, is it a collection, or are they gonna have like virtual console ports and then some eShop titles? It's really up in the air what they plan to do with that. All I know is that the timed window for this X collection is summer 2018, as apparently when it's coming out.
Oh, we should also mention the Legacy Collection 1 and 2. Was it spring?
Yeah, spring 2018.
Spring
Dang.
2018. So
2018 is gonna be filled with Mega Man stuff in general, which I'm actually happy with.
Yeah, apparently what's going on is the 30th anniversary starts this month, and it goes on till the next year. So we're basically gonna have a whole proper year of celebration for the Mega Man franchise, which is pretty cool.
realistically speaking, we're looking at 19 games, 19 Mega Man games.
Protodude put it on Twitter earlier. By the end of 2018, we'll have 19 Mega Man games, going
19?
from zero to 19 Mega Man games on the Switch by the end of 2018.
That's nuts.
Jeez,
That's
nuts. Yeah, because those collections, they're pretty huge. You get 10 Mega Man games, Legacy Collection alone, and then you get 8 more games from the X, and then of course Mega Man 11.
And the other question too is, which X3 are we going? Is it going to be? Is it going to be the SNES version or the Saturn?
Oh, you're right, dude.
I do hope it's the SNES version though, because the SNES version had like the better music, ideally. Because I don't know if you guys had this problem, but with the PlayStation version, the music was kind of weird.
Okay, see, you said this back in another like podcast we did, and I listened to it and editing. I was like, oh my god, I have so many problems with this woman right now.
No, I'm just saying.
Because I am the complete opposite.
Oh wait, you like the PlayStation music? I'm saying the PlayStation music is bad.
Okay. The first time I played Mega Man X3 was actually on the X collection, and that uses the PlayStation version.
Okay.
That was the music I got used to, and it was pretty dope. Then I go to the Super Nintendo version. I'm like, what is this piece of trash? What am I listening to right now?
That's weird.
It's just like the tunes themselves. Like I said before, the tunes themselves are fine, but the actual instruments that they use in the SNES version, it's just not good. Like it sounds like, I don't know, it sounds like a bad bootleg game or something. I'm sorry. I just vastly prefer the PlayStation soundtrack.
I'm just gonna say right now, the PlayStation soundtrack is fine, but one thing that just sounded way too out of place, and I know you probably haven't listened to this one in a while, but Dr. Doppler Stage 1. What the heck is up with the way it sounds? It does not sound right. The SNES version was just so much better. Like, it's fine. It's good on its own right, but as Dr. Doppler's stage, it just sounds a little too much like a mariachi, not even a mariachi band. It just sounds way too... The tone doesn't match with the stage itself, and that was my biggest problem with it. Like, it sounds wonderful for a stage that is supposed to be in Doppler's castle.
I didn't really, because I never played X3. I'll probably save that until we let's play it, or I'll practice it a little bit. But from the little that I've heard, I believe I liked the Vile theme in the Saturn version better.
What?
Okay, going back to what Saf was saying though, I don't know what you're talking about, because I thought that Doppler Stage 1 was fine to me. Actually, the only thing where I would say the SNES version is superior is the credits theme. Like, the credits theme for PlayStation doesn't fit nearly as well as the SNES version does. That's the only theme where I really concede.
Well, let me ask this then. I know it's music is very subjective, but in terms of gameplay, how were they both?
They're both pretty much the same.
Like, did they perform well? Was like one better than the other, or what?
I played both versions many times, but more like for the most part, they're the same. They perform the same and all that. It's just that the PlayStation version has upgraded music and it has different sound effects. I will say I prefer the original Super Nintendo sound effects because they did change that aspect in the PlayStation version. But definitely, I like the music better overall.
I do like, though, with the PlayStation version, that there are cutscenes. Like, scenes for each. I love that.
Yeah, I think that was like one of the biggest ups to the SNES, because Chrono Trigger got that same treatment too, where it was the same game, but they got cutscenes.
Yep.
Yeah, also, since TGP brought it up, apparently the PlayStation soundtrack and the Sega Saturn soundtrack are the same.
Yeah.
That's really weird. I didn't even know that there was a Sega Saturn version, and now that I know about it and I'm looking it up, they have the same exact soundtrack. That's really freaking weird.
I recall that they were about to port X3 on another console too, but that console failed pretty hard, so they did it in the end. But I'm trying to remember what that console was. Maybe it'll come back to me. Well, let's move on then. It is pretty cool though that with X8 I can actually play it on a modern console now, because the only way I played Mega Man X8 before was actually getting out my old PS2, and that PS2 is a hunk of junk because I had the old fat one. And first of all, I don't always have it plugged up anymore, since there's not really a reason for me to pick up the PS2 and play anymore. It's only really for Xenosaga and Mega Man X8 now. But even when I turn on the machine, like, I don't know if you ever had an old fat PS2, but the fan on that thing is super loud.
It's pretty loud. I still have my fat one as well. Yeah, because I believe X8 was only ever ported on the PC, and I heard it was really bad. It was badly ported. I don't know. I can't say for sure. But the fact that it's going to be on the Switch is pretty cool.
Yeah. I mean, Hero Adger would be more knowledgeable in that subject. just because he actually did the X8 playthrough on our channel with the PC version. But he had to get me to record the cutscenes with the PS2 version, because for whatever reason the PC version doesn't play the cutscenes, at least on his end.
Yeah, that's weird. Yeah, so cool. We're getting that in the summer. I can't wait.
Yep.
I'm super hyped for that.
Alright, we finished the X discussion here, so let's move on to the big one.
The big
one everybody's been waiting for. That's of course Mega Man 11!
Now before we comment on the game itself, I like to say the reveal to it is pretty neat.
Yeah, so in case you guys didn't watch, there was a big like history / timeline video that showed up all the games up to Mega Man 11 up to this point. And it was pretty cool. They even acknowledged some games that is relatively obscure, but still released here in America.
Soccer.
Yeah, things like that.
Mega Man Soccer, Mega Man Network Transmission.
They acknowledged Battle
and apparently
Star Force in general. That says something.
I should comment about that too. They didn't, like, besides that, the whole timeline thing, they didn't really mention any of the other series besides X and Classic at all.
Yeah, that entire show was mostly X and Classic. I will at least say this. They did, like, at least sort of acknowledged Star Force and I believe the Zero series as well, because they kind of showed you, like, the box art for each game. And I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Otherwise, you just see the name. And I also heard that in the Japanese version, they also counted games in, such as EXE 4.5 and even the Wonder Swan.
Pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So also another thing in the trailer that was really weird. For the American version, I don't know why or how they let this slip. For Battle Network 3, they said Battle Network 3 black version, which we did not get. Japan got black and blue. We got white and blue. So I thought that was an interesting tidbit that they just left that in there.
I will say, we could talk about the pre-show a little bit too, because they had this like 1 hour pre-show where they basically had Mega Man Jeopardy, and they had Pro Jared, Mega Ran, and Used Pizza. I don't know who Used Pizza is though, but
yeah, he's the only one I don't know who he is.
I don't know who that is either. Like, I've never heard of the person.
Gonna have to look them up.
It's funny. Like it was literally Mega Man Jeopardy. They had the sound effects and everything.
Yeah, it was like they did like a round of questions, and then they what was the second one they did? You had to like guess who this person was in terms of like they give you hints for that, and then finally they did the music portion, and I find it really cool that out of all the portions, not a single person got the music portion incorrect.
That's because like music is one of the biggest things about Mega Man. You can't have Mega Man without good music.
That's so true.
Again, it was mostly X and Classic though, so
yeah, it was X and Classic questions only. Someone will be quick to comment down below that there was a Surbot drawing, but I think that was like one of the 3 contestants' idea, not necessarily Capcom. So there is that.
Wouldn't be surprised if that was the case, but I do, now that you're telling me this, because I didn't get to see most of the pre-show, the one thing I did see from the pre-show before I had to really pay attention in class was they were talking about Mega Man X and their favorite Mavericks. So
oh yeah, they had to play like a Family Feud-esque type thing where you had to guess what you thought people said it was like the best Robot Master or the best weapon. I find it very funny that they didn't ask which you think was the best game, because
they skipped that question.
I believe that was
they had 3 questions. First one was, what's your favorite Robot Master? What Robot Master weapon would you want to have in real life? The third one was, what's the best Mega Man game? And they skipped the third one entirely. It's like,
I'm pretty sure it got memed pretty hard.
Yeah, like even myself, I put Mega Man X7.
Oh.
I have no shame.
excuse me?
Oh, I put mine at number 9.
I bet a lot of people put mine number 9. That's why I didn't do it.
I was very disappointed. I didn't see the number 1 Robot Master as Goku. I was very upset.
That's why we had
Shrek.
That's why the Smash ballot was a mistake.
Well, one meme made it in, and that was one of the best one of the hardest Robot Masters. That was the actual question.
Yeah.
It was Airman.
Yes! Yes!
Yeah,
yes,
so that did make
you.
it through. Alright, now let's actually talk about the beautiful
I do want to mention one more funny thing. So, if you guys are really in the loop, you might remember that the Japanese side of Capcom released this like poster and t-shirt, and on some of the Mega Man sprites, they still have the white outline from the picture that they cropped out of.
Really?
So today on their set, they had like these little pixel art cutouts of all the Mega Man characters.
Yep.
And on Proto Man and Cut Man, there were still white outlines on them.
Yeah,
like underneath their armpits and stuff.
Oh my
I was like,
lord.
really?
Oh my lord.
Good lord.
Capcom, please.
That was too
Learn the
funny.
Photoshop.
I forgot about that.
They need to learn how to use Photoshop correctly.
But at the end of all that, they had like a thing where, in the reveal trailer, I should say, they had the thing with Mega Man going through all the games, and at the very end, he sees Wily, and Wily's like, "Oh, please forgive me," but then he's like, "Oh no, son," and he just like goes behind a wall, and then you see Mega Man going through a teleporter. And
But before we get to there, before that Wily section, we got the 2010, which is Mega Man 10, and then Mega Man jumped on Rush and started going through all the rest of the years: 2011, 2012, 2013, 2014. There's just like a layer of spikes on the ground. There's like absolutely no game.
Well, except for
games.
Rockman XO. Then we're not gonna.
But that was 2011, 2012.
Yeah,
so
there was 5 years of
5 years of nothing.
That was
I just like how they
part.
portrayed that, like how like it's all spikes and the door and all that. Absolutely nothing.
Beautiful.
They admitted it. And
Oh,
I'm
man.
happy they did.
Like right after the reveal trailer for Mega Man 11, the guy's like, we kept the fans waiting Forever.
Yeah, forever. There were many E's on that. Forever.
Many E's.
But yeah. Mega
that's
Man goes
something
to the
I was just reading the Game Informer information, and apparently in Game Informer they said that it was really hard for some of the developer staff to get a Mega Man game greenlit at Capcom. They apparently for a few years now they've been trying to submit ideas to the higher ups, but they kept getting denied until one guy had a really good idea for Mega Man 11 and it finally got greenlighted. So it took that long just to get the big wigs to be like, okay.
Wow. I mean, the fact that they kept pushing for it, though, that makes me really happy, though.
Yeah. I mean, like, support for Mega Man in terms of the devs never really died down. It's just the big wigs, they didn't see Mega Man as, like, one to make money. And
yeah. Like, to be fair, Mega Man has never been a bestseller. The Mega Man Network pointed out on Twitter that if you look at Capcom's top selling games on the list, you get to number 48 before you see your first Mega Man game on the list. And what's that game? It's Mega Man 2.
Of course.
So yeah, it only goes down from there.
Yeah, and it's especially saddening that the recent games that came out didn't do so hot either. So
Mega Man Star Force 3 didn't even make $500,000. That was worldwide, by the way.
Yeah.
I know Battle Network 3 made over $1 million for sure.
I believe it was Mega Man Battle Network 4 that they said was the first game to reach $1 million in Japan.
Yeah.
I think so.
Battle Network 4.
Yeah.
Yeah, like most of this like command mission didn't do remotely well. So it was really hard for them to probably get it greenlit. Not to mention, they probably will never admit this, but we can only theorize. I'm pretty sure they didn't want anything to do with Mega Man because of Inafune.
Probably, yeah.
Probably. That was another thing they mentioned in Game Informer, how they really lost a lot of motivation and all that because of Inafune leaving the company.
Yeah.
Since he was like the guy who was really pushing Mega Man forward in there.
Yeah.
So without him, morale was definitely very, very low.
We meme on the guy super hard, but he did a lot good.
Like he meant a lot to the devs and to everyone else at Capcom.
Yep. And like, I know the Japanese, I don't want to say all, but most are very proud. So I'm pretty sure the fact that he went out and tried to do his own thing and failed. Well, I wouldn't say failed, but didn't do so hot. They didn't want to basically they were kind of like, nah, we don't have to do anything. But I guess they're like, okay, we gotta do something. But I don't think Capcom's doing so hot right now.
No, they're...
If I'm not mistaken.
No. Like just a few years ago, they let down their quote-unquote protection that would otherwise make it so other companies couldn't buy them out. But now they're open to it. So that tells you something.
Yep. They pushed the Mega Man button. They actually did it.
They pushed the emergency button.
Thank goodness they actually pushed the button, man.
Yep. They went straight to classic. Classic. People love classic. Nobody hates classic. Classic. Go.
I think also.
Except for.
But I think it's interesting too because and I was telling you this, SR, and you were telling me not to keep my hopes up, but I mean, and I was just saying it, the fact that there were hype packages going around and the way they put specific attention on the card. Actually on the card, somebody mentioned this, but there were 11 pieces of frosting around on the cake.
Yeah, somebody pointed that out. But the thing is, we also have to consider too, we were also going by how the previous stream went, and the previous stream was garbage.
We haven't really discussed that either, matter of fact.
Do you actually want to?
Let's do it, dude.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
So, Capcom Japan, I should say, had a stream at Tokyo Game Show. And this was their 30th anniversary stream. This is going to be the biggest one. And, they said
Yeah,
they're gonna reveal
they kind of
the latest. Like they said, they're gonna have the latest Mega Man 30th anniversary information. Like, okay.
Yeah, like the same way they hyped this one, except not with the invitations, at least to our knowledge.
Like, they definitely went overboard for this one.
Yeah, they hyped it a lot.
The last one, they still hyped it up a little bit. And then you start it, and you start out with merchandise, and obviously the meme, the cute girls.
Yeah, the cute girls.
The cute waifus.
There were a lot of waifus there.
A lot of waifus.
But basically, they were like, oh, here's the collection, the Legacy Collection. We're gonna show off the Legacy Collection. And that's basically what they did, the entirety of it. And
yeah, they had these guys have like a competition of who could beat the little challenges the fastest.
Yeah.
The thing is, though, they all sucked at the game. I'm sorry, they did.
And then I believe it ended with merchandises. Like they had like the costume, the kigurumi, they had the mugs, and jackets, and all these things. And then it ended. And
that's it.
That was it. Congratulations, you get yourself a Legacy Collection and some merchandise and some cute girls.
Well, they didn't have any other announcements except for merchandise, really.
Absolutely not.
I will say the biggest thing that came out of that was the new role design, which apparently is going to be in Mega Man 11 now that we know.
Yeah,
like, before we were speculating, is this for a new game? And the answer to that is yes.
It is, but we just didn't know it at the time, and they just showed the designs. Oh, this is an Android.
Like, they introduced it as a figure.
As a figure. So you can tell a lot of people, including us, were pretty salty about it. They're like, "Oh, gee, thanks."
But thanks for making a new design just to make it a figure, not anything else.
There goes my life.
I think it's also interesting, though, too, now that you're bringing that up, that since they only brought up, like, Mega Man Legacy Collection, but now it kind of makes sense, especially because in Legacy Collection 2, they had the artwork for Brick Mega Man in it, and nobody thought it was tied to Mega Man 11, but joke's on you, everybody, it actually was.
Yeah,
Well, Proto Dude knew. Proto Dude was on the money.
Yeah, Proto Dude.
On the nose.
Proto Dude, man. Congrats to you, man. You knew about it from the get-go. I don't know how the heck he figured it out, but...
Yeah, I think it was out for a little while, but, like, nobody really said anything much about it.
The thing is, like, I was suspicious myself. Like, why would this random artwork that clearly isn't from Mega Man 8, because that's where they documented it, clearly not from Mega Man 8, why would this be here? And, of course, it's because they're teasing Mega Man 11 pretty hard. We just didn't know. Like, the thing is, Capcom, as far as the Mega Man franchise goes, Capcom's been treating us so badly the last few years that at that point, we were just done. Like, even if a sign did come, we would pretty much disregard it just because we had no hope whatsoever.
Not to mention, looking at it face value, you could have just looked at it and been like, oh, that was just the weapon that they were gonna put in 8, but they just didn't.
Yeah.
So
that's the funny part. They put it in 8. Like, they try to pass it off with, oh, don't worry, guys, it was just Mega Man 8 artwork.
The sneaky son of a guns, man. But I am pleasantly surprised that it wasn't just a thing from 8, and it actually was something leading up to Mega Man 11, which...
I would say the earliest sign that there was a new game, though, was when Legacy Collection 1 came out. A couple years ago, they held this survey for the Japanese audience, and they asked a lot of questions like, what kind of Mega Man collections do you want? What should we do about this? But the big question was, they literally asked us face value, if we made a Mega Man 11, would you want it? And I guess everybody said yes, because that's exactly what we got.
So literally, the Japanese fan base saved our butts. Quite literally.
Thanks, Inafune.
It's funny because, like, during the stream, not the stream, but like in the forums around that time, people were like really surprised that the Western audience was like super into it, because it seemed like they didn't really care.
That is pretty funny, actually. Like, when the Japanese stream happened, obviously a lot of us Westerners were watching it through YouTube and Twitch and all that. And apparently the Japanese fans were really surprised that the Western fans were really salty about no news or anything, because apparently the Japanese fans were saying like, oh, we like the merchandise though, and blah blah blah. But we don't get none.
Gonna pay import costs.
That is pretty interesting to think about, that the Japanese actually was...
Like, the Japanese actually didn't mind, but the Westerners did.
I think it's also because around the community, like in the gaming community too, like especially because of the revival of classic Sonic with Mania, you know, we technically got a little Uncle Banjo-Kazooie revival in weird ways with adding time and with ukulele. That doesn't really count. I mean, Bubsy came back of all things.
We can't forget about Bubsy.
Get the
Oh my goodness. I'll tell you guys, like 2017 was the ultimate year for video game revivals.
It honestly
we got I got an open world Zelda game. We got the first sandbox 3D Mario in a really long time. And of course Mega Man, Crash Bandicoot, ukulele, I guess.
Classic
I mean,
Sonic.
it didn't really do that well.
Classic Sonic.
Classic Sonic. Classic
I think
Sonic
also
and
platformers as a they're coming back,
I think 3D platformers in general came back this year.
Yeah.
which I'm happy with. I'm so happy that now the platformer genre is making a comeback, especially because I was raised around the platformer genre when it was the main thing you would see. Platformer like for any age, and it's so accessible to people, so the fact they're bringing it back in a time where platformers were dying out and people didn't really see them as much, for me it really makes me happy. And I think with this whole thing with Mega Man 11 and stuff like that coming out, it may lead to possible things like such as X9 and stuff like that. And
like once you announce a new Mega Man game, the floodgates have been opened.
let's put it this way. This might sound bad coming from me, but I'm pretty sure a lot of people aren't too happy that we're getting another classic game. Jeez, Capcom. And I'm not so much against it, but I did kind of wish it was like, you know, another series. But we also have to realize too that classic is like mostly the safer route to go, and not to mention, if it does very well, it could very well be the gateway that we've always wanted, and they can possibly expand into the X series, or maybe even the most obscure series that people want so bad.
It has to start from classic.
That's
the whole series started with classic. This is Classic's 30th anniversary. It's not Battle Network's 30th anniversary. It's not X's 30th
Battle
anniversary
Network's
even.
15
I know
just
it's
happened
X's
last
25, but
Let's put it this way: if these sales, when this game comes out, and if they do very well, because we can say whatever we want, but truth be told, money talks the loudest.
especially with Japanese companies, so
Yeah, so this is like when that game comes out, that is the time to say, hey, we want more Mega Man, and we gotta buy it.
look, we've been in a situation for a long time now where the only way we can really support the Mega Man franchise is the collections. The only thing about supporting the collections is we're also communicating to Capcom that not only we want Mega Man, but we're also okay with them making lazy collections all the time.
which
Yeah.
But now that there's this game, Mega Man 11, now there's a way you can tell Capcom, we want more Mega Man games, brand new experiences. So if I had to say anything, if someone's gonna ask me how do I support Mega Man, buy Mega Man 11. Just okay, sure, Battle Network, Star Force, that might be more your cup of tea. That's fine. But if you want that, I would suggest supporting Mega Man 11 first. That may very well be the gateway to those other series.
yeah.
Or,
But
and
somebody-
this is wishful thinking, it could be a gateway for something new.
It could.
But
It could be a gateway into something better than the Mega Man cartoon that's supposed to come out. And
speaking of that thing's probably canceled at this point.
I hope it is, because honestly, at this point, it's just, we don't even need it. We gotta make.
It's always sad to hear bad things, but it's.
I mean, I'm not gonna miss it though.
I mean, the one.
I'll be 100% honest. I meme it all the time, but I still want to at the very least, watch the first episode and then see how it goes.
I was thinking that too, but then also with the whole concept of Mini Mega, that kind of like the fact that they brought Mini Mega and they tried to put Star Force and Battle Network concepts in the like classic and try to make it all this weird mashup of things. I kind of got a little pissed off at that. It's like
it was pretty
it's like
weird.
you're not
It's
representing
weird.
this.
It's very weird, yes, but remember, Mario and Raving Rabbids on paper sounds very weird. It's like the most bizarre thing you'll ever think of. But it worked.
Okay, but that was executed. That was executed actually well.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm
like the Mega Man cartoon was not executed well.
So yeah, that's what I'm saying.
The Mega Time thing is what really turned me off.
So
when I saw
that's
that.
they're in an uphill battle right now. If they really want to catch the audience, they got to do something.
I mean,
So
I think though they could have done something like the Ruby Spears cartoon, and they could have gotten away with it. Because even now, like, for some reason, and this is with modern children's programming as an animator, this is what I've noticed, children right now, they are willing to watch anything at this point. Which is weird to say, but there's a lot of stupid things that are on children's programming, and yet they're the most popular things, and it's just like, why? So
I think that's the thing that they don't realize is they're setting the bar really low, like too low.
yeah,
And that's what's ruining them. We'll see what happens. I'll give it a shot. I'll reserve my
The reason,
judgment
if
there.
in case anyone was wondering, the reason why I say it probably got canceled is because, first of all, we heard back in like October. I mean, it's been a while now. That the cartoon was going to be at this convention, and then right before the convention happened, we got news that DHX Media got bought out, and those are the guys like supporting the Mega Man cartoon.
DHS got bought out, really?
Yeah, got bought out by somebody, and then when the convention actually came, nothing really came out of it. Like, there's no news or anything.
I mean,
So that was really
I
weird.
did see one thing though, and it was this was probably before that, but it was the whole thing with the Mega Man transformation sequence and Mini Mega. Like, that was the one thing I saw. Footage was blurry, but that was like the closest thing I saw as of recent.
But more than anything else, the biggest sign to me is the fact that they didn't talk about it at all in the 30th stream. Not a single mention.
I think it's best if they don't.
It's technically classic, so I don't know, man.
Not only that, but it's also a Western thing too. And you would think this would be the stream to talk about it. I was even also surprised that we didn't get a single mention of the esports mobile game. But they're probably going to save that for
that's another thing.
the Japanese. I'm not gonna lie, I was kind of hoping for it. I want it.
You just wanted the meme on
I
it.
want the meme
One thing
so
though,
hard.
just to bring it back to what we were saying though about supporting this, one of my friends did mention this, and to be fair, he is kind of right, but he's also kind of wrong. He did mention to me that if this does sell well though, if Mega Man 11 sells well, then Capcom might also get it in their head to milk classic only. That might
That's a possibility.
I don't think this is the case, but it could segue into that. But I think right now, with the way this game is being, like the direction it's being pointed at, it's not gonna go down that route.
I mean, let's think about this though. They just announced a Mega Man X collection. Now, why the heck do they want us to play all the Mega Man X games?
That is true.
That is also true too.
why.
It's like, especially because they're even releasing 7 X6 out of all things. Ugh. 7 odd and 8, which is like, okay. They're actually re-releasing those. That's setting the bar for something else in the future. Possibly
basically
the biggest hint.
What this tells me is they're testing the waters to see if people are interested in Mega Man period, and they're also testing the waters to see if people want X, because that was like the second popular series of
if you think about it, they were testing the waters already with Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite with the inclusion of X.
I mean, people were happy about X being added, but then it was, I think,
the game itself,
yeah,
though.
but I
the
think,
game itself, it's in the sea of trouble.
Yeah.
But we'll see what happens.
Anyway, but we might even get. Now, this is very like EGP. He said it was scarce, but we could get Star Force 4 in the future.
The thing is,
Wait.
I think, not counting Classic or X, I think the series that has the most potential of maybe get a sequel, maybe perhaps, I'd have to say it'd have to be maybe Battle Network.
I was thinking that too.
Pushing.
I wouldn't even say that.
I would think.
I would say Legends, but I don't think those.
Okay, we're talking like series that deserve a sequel. It's definitely Legends 3 and ZX3.
I'm talking about sales.
Yeah, I was thinking that too.
But
which game sold the best?
But yes, like all the other series are like done with their stories. Well, except for Classic and X.
Well, actually, I don't even know. Could you say that Star Force 3? I mean, Star Force 3 did wrap up things, yeah, but I think there were some things that were kind of just like, wait a minute. Like, the ending, it was an ending, but you could still do more with it.
I won't deny they could still do more, but I think it did wrap it up pretty nicely.
Yeah, like they did wrap it up really nicely. It's kind of like with Battle Network 6's ending. Even though they did end it off, Lamb grew up and everything, you still have Patch and Mega Man Jr.
So that's the only way I could see Battle Network continuing is if they go with Patch. I don't want to see Lan in high school. I mean, it wouldn't be bad, but I think they should at this point go with Patch.
I think
that's what I mean.
That's why I like.
In terms of sales, I think Mega Man Battle Network would be the one that gets touched. It may not even be a sequel. It may just be, we're gonna put out a collection and see how that does. But
yeah, they put out a collection though, online functionality. Capcom,
please.
I know you're listening. Give us online functionality.
That would also help with like net battling tournaments and just people playing in general, because I think also another thing they should do, if they do plan on doing a collection, they should really tweak a lot of the problems the other games had.
Well, if you're talking about a collection, no. I think they should just leave it at that.
I mean, they re-released Battle Network 4, and then what they did is that they tweaked the whole thing with Woodman scenario. That's the tweaks I'm talking about. Like,
well, that's one thing. That's fixing bugs in their thing. But I mean, like, I think honestly with collections, unless you're like upscaling the graphics or something like that, the core game should be left alone.
I'm not saying like, I'm saying like minor things should be tweaked. Now,
define minor things.
Well, like bugs, of course. Typos? I'm saying that with a question mark only because some of the typos are really funny. Like load chod and stuff like that.
I think that's something they'll probably just leave alone because it's like, whatever.
Yeah, it's like at this point, if they wanted to fix all that, they had to go into the game's code and start editing things, and it would just get ridiculous.
Yeah.
It would just it wouldn't be very cost effective.
Yeah, so I mean, again, the typos wasn't iffy, but I'm okay with it because honestly, the typos are funny and they're memes.
Like, all I really want is like some kind of connectivity. At the very least, if you're gonna put on the Switch, have it to where you can connect with other Switches wirelessly, like you could do, with the other systems.
I think it should be Wi-Fi.
I think that
too,
would.
though.
Wi-Fi would be great, but that would be a lot of work for them to code in. So at least make it so you could connect wirelessly, like what they did with the retro Pokemon games for the 3DS.
Oh, yeah, true, good point. I mean, I hope they do put on Wi-Fi functionality, only because I don't know. I mean, I know a few people who would get the game so we could battle each other, but it would just be a better experience when it comes to connecting more with Battle Network people.
I will say though, if they do have at least wireless capabilities, they should still have the changes they made to the Wii U ports, so you can still get the chips even though you don't know anybody nearby that has a game.
Oh yeah, that was a very good thing they did.
That was really convenient and nice.
Really good.
But either way, we're just daydreaming at this point. Right now, we just have to concentrate on the present, and that is we're getting a new Mega Man game, and we have to tell Capcom, say, hey, we want more Mega Man. This is how much we want it.
Exactly.
I'm absolutely excited. It looks really great.
I'll be honest, looking at it graphically, it doesn't look amazing. It looks great, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it's enough to get everyone saying wow. I think it's only enough to get fans to say wow.
Well, right now it's also an alpha build, or like it's a later build.
Exactly.
Like,
We're just seeing they're still in development, obviously, so it's gonna get better. I think one of the things you pointed out about it was the the one you pointed the walking cycle was a bit weird.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. They need to smooth out the animations.
Yeah. There's still some kinks here and there, but at the very least, for what we saw, it was good. I think another complaint I saw.
What for that? Let me talk about like the graphical style itself. Yeah. Like, okay, I know I said this at least 3 times now, but in case you haven't heard, whenever I daydreamed about like a Mega Man 11 or something, I always thought about what if they didn't just do 8-bit all the time? They just went like for another kind of modern art style, not necessarily like realistic, HD, gritty, and all that, but like actual like a pretty art style, kind of like Guilty Gear Zerd, that series, where it's still 2.5D, but the characters are all drawn super anime, super stylized. That looks really nice.
I will say,
I was thinking of like,
this does kind of give off a Wind Waker vibe a little bit.
It does.
Yeah, Wind Waker. Wind Waker's another good example, and that's what I kind of pictured Mega Man being in the future, if they wanted to go modern, and they answered my prayers. Like, I don't know, like, well, obviously they don't care about what I think, but they answered my daydreams. I just have to thank them for that. This is exactly what I always dreamed of Mega Man being, and it's finally happening. So I love the graphical style personally.
Yeah, I like it too. Obviously, it does need work. My biggest thing, however, is not how it looks. To me, graphic is just a bonus. But I really want to know if how it plays.
Well, there is a impression already, thanks to Game Informer.
Mm-hmm.
So what Game Informer said is that they said the controls are very tight. It's what you would expect from a Mega Man game. You know, Mega Man games very tight controls.
Mm-hmm.
So that seems like a good good start. They're saying that the game plays well.
That's really good. That's
really good to hear. Cause Mega Man's always been like, well, you can jump, you can even like control your jump trajectory and all that crazy stuff. And
yeah.
The fact that people are saying that, it feels good, that's a good step. Hopefully hopefully it feels like that all the way through. Hopefully, we've only seen one level, which is the temple level, from what it seems like. Hopefully, the level design itself.
We've seen a temple, a mine, and in the Game Informer magazine specifically, we saw a forest.
Yeah, like a forest type place.
Oh. Also, speaking of like what Game Informer also said, they also showed a picture of Mega Man in this Star Force type of outfit where he looked stellar, which I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty freaking dope, and it means that we're probably gonna get more stuff like that for all the other Mega Men as well.
That to me says we're either gonna get some sort of DLC in terms of, oh, you get to fight Mega Man-esque boss in an optional thing, or it can just outright be a costume.
It could be like cosmetic costumes, which still that's a pretty cool idea.
Yeah,
because in this game, when Mega Man takes an ability, he literally transforms. Like his physical appearance changes as well.
Like
pretty much.
It was always color only. Like
it was only color in previous games, but now he actually changes form, kind of like Mighty Number 9. Oh, this is where we're gonna start the comparisons because I've been starting on the analysis, taking notes and everything. I've just been noticing how a lot of the enemy designs, the stage designs, like they have a mine, they have a temple thing with conveyor belts, and they have a forest with pizza explosions. Not little pizza, not necessarily as bad as Mine Number 9, but they do look a little pizza-y, the fire in some of the screenshots. So it's like, that's what some people have been saying, is this game looks a lot like Mine Number 9. Obviously, it looks way better than Mine Number 9, but that's the funny thing. It's like Mega Man 11 is the most subtle screw you to Inafune I've ever seen.
Yeah, little by little here and there.
Mega Man changes his appearance to similar stages. A lot of mechanics that Mine Number 9 kind of did. Capcom's like basically saying, "Oh, you're gonna do that? Well, guess what? I can do it better." That's just what Mega Man 11 says to me.
I'm also gonna go back a little bit with the design. I do like new Mega Man. I definitely dig this new look.
So good.
It's like a crossover between his classic design, but also the Smash Brothers design.
To me, he looks like a teenager now. He doesn't look like a little boy.
Yeah.
I did like that a lot. I'm also liking
even his voice got manly.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah, people were just
Speaking
saying
of, he's got a voice.
People said he's like X and Peach.
I mean, it could be going that way.
He upon closer listening, he sounds more like how Mega Man sounded in Mega Man Powered Up.
Yeah, something like that. Because X is more like an adult at this point, or at least that's how you would kind of see him as. Whereas Classic here, he looks like he's like teenager, almost maybe 18. Like he's growing up, basically. He's not the little boy anymore, and I like that a lot. The transformation too, when he has the other weapon. That's a really nice touch. It's very simple. All they did was just add a few rocks, give him a rock glove, in a sense, and it was fantastic. It was great.
But it adds so much, because in past games it's just a different color, and some Robot Master weapons would look the same because it's a different, like the same color scheme. But this time when he actually changed his appearance, you could tell between the different weapons a lot easier.
Yeah, I like it. I'm also digging the enemies, especially the new ones. Like the
yeah, the ones I've seen so far is like, it looks like a fat Sniper Joe, but he's inside this wheel and it just spins. And I'm guessing the little gap is this weak spot. So that was kind of cool. And then we have this skull guy with a hammer, and when Mega Man gets close, it slams down his hammer, and then the top of his head comes off and it creates like a little platform you can jump on. That was kind of neat.
It was pretty cool. They didn't show too much in this trailer, but from the very little we've seen, I'm happy.
Yeah, I honestly cannot complain except for the walking cycle of Mega Man himself.
I guess the only, and I wouldn't even call it a complaint, I'd call it like a nitpick, but the only thing, I just wish it was the next game, but I'm not going to complain.
Yeah.
You know.
I mean, yeah, that's a pretty petty thing to say.
It's a very petty thing to say, but I'm not, because it's more of a personal thing. I'm just an X fan, but
like the same here, dude. Like we're both like the biggest X fans ever.
Yeah.
And yeah, me too. I would prefer an X9, but
the thing is,
this game does not look bad at all.
Yeah, we're starving for a game. For the most part, we should welcome this with open arms. I'm welcoming it with open arms. I'm like, man, I just want to make a Mega game, period. And there it is.
Yeah. The thing is, like, I'm so happy they didn't go 8-bit.
Same.
Yeah.
If it was just 8-bit again, I think a lot of people would be turned off.
Don't get me wrong, I do like the 8-bit. I'm more of a 16-bit, but
yeah,
I don't think
8-bit is classic. It's nostalgic. I get it, but they don't need to keep doing it every game.
Yeah, I don't think I would have been. I wouldn't deny it, but I'd be like 50-50, basically. But I am very happy that they decided to go the 2.5D route. It's great.
Like, if you guys have seen my reaction to the trailer the first time I watched it, the reason I even screamed as hard as I did is because it was all new HD. Guys, can we talk about how we have a HD Mega Man game now?
Yeah.
That's huge!
Oh, yeah. A classic, we should say.
Yeah.
It's phenomenal for it. Because all we had were just 8 bits and 16 bits.
And 32-bit.
But now it's just...
This is a giant leap for Mega Man. It's so good to see.
Well, I'll tell you, my expectations went up, blew my mind. I'm here expecting nothing but complete disappointment. Absolute disappointment. And they raised it way up there, and now I can't wait. I want it now.
I can't wait for next year.
I can't wait. Honestly, next year is just going to be the big start for Mega Man's revival. This is it.
It's not even next year. It's next year fall.
It is.
We have a long way to go.
And I will take everything with open arms. And SR. I'll even take X6 open arms just for this occasion.
Just for this occasion.
Yes, only for this occasion.
Like, in the event they do sell them separately, you don't have to.
Still, though, I mean...
That is true.
This is kind of a moment for
So, I guess in a really...
Then again, I think they're gonna make it an X collection, I think, because why would you sell X7 by itself? No, you know it is.
It's true. What would you?
Would you?
This is kind of backwards to say, but I'm kind of sort of gonna miss the Mega Man is Dead meme.
I'm not missing it.
It was funny sometimes, but now I'm really glad that it's back, and I can proudly say I'll eat my own words and say I was wrong.
Me too. I was wrong.
I was right.
I didn't believe in Capcom at all, but I'm glad they proved me wrong. Yeah. I couldn't be happier.
Because I'm a realistic person. I have my hopes, but seeing that track record, I can't help but to feel, yeah, we're not getting anything at all.
Yeah, like the track record, more than anything, did not help.
Yeah, but I think that's also what made the reveal so big and so great.
Yeah, that's what made it like amazing. It's the fact that not many people were expecting it, and when it came, people couldn't contain themselves.
Like, for us fans, this game may as well be the second coming of Jesus.
Yeah, I'd say that.
Or should I say Jesus Fune?
Oh, you're right. Well, I'm very happy. I cannot.
Me too, man. I'm gonna be digging into this game so hard over the next week or so, and once a lot more information comes out, maybe we'll come back again and talk about the new stuff that comes out. But this is just based off the trailer for now, and from what we see in the trailer, looks really good. Very, very promising, man.
I'm happy.
Can't wait. Now to convince Capcom to give me a review copy.
If only.
If only.
One can hope.
Yep.
I
don't see it happening though.
Wishful thinking. But anyways,
Yeah.
I think we should wrap this up.
Yeah, we've been at it for a while.
Oh man, it feels really great. Really, really great to know that Mega Man is indeed back.
Like, just think, just yesterday, we were at a low point. We were just like, I don't know what's gonna happen. Yeah, I don't know if Mega Man will ever come back. I don't know if anything, Capcom even cares anymore. Maybe we're just gonna get this crappy mobile game again. That was like the best we were expecting, and then, bam, here you go. Here's everything you've asked for. We've been listening, guys.
Yep.
I gotta say, thank you, Capcom. Thank you to the developers at Capcom for still caring about this little guy.
Yep.
I really appreciate it.
And well, the thing is too, we also have to remember that the news isn't necessarily over just yet. At least we think, because
Right.
I believe on the 13th of December,
Yes.
there's going to be a Japanese stream. It could very well be the same thing. I'm not too sure, but there is going to be a stream for Mega Man news, and there might be some new information there. So
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of new information, I know that Game Informer is going to be revealing more Mega Man 11 info all throughout this month.
yes,
But Capcom themselves said that the biggest piece of news that's coming next is going to be in summer 2018. So that would be around the time that X Collection is coming out.
yeah. So I'll leave a link in the description. They are going to post updates every once in a while. I believe looking at the, let me pull up this. No, apparently I didn't say anything, but there's gonna be an update very soon for it. So we'll see what it is. It's probably gonna be like the Smash, where they would update like a little bit here and there and say, oh, here's a random tidbit.
Yeah, I was following them when they were doing their Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild coverage, and it was pretty much every day or every few days there'd be a new article about some aspect of the game.
Yeah.
So it'll probably go about the same way with Mega Man.
Yeah.
So very exciting to look forward to. And of course, we'll be keeping you guys updated all throughout the way up on the ShadowRockZX YouTube channel. So definitely subscribe and stay tuned. Stay tuned, man.
You can also join us in the Discord, where we always have ourselves and a bunch of our members as well, sharing information left and right. So if you want to keep on top of that, you can also head to our Discord channel and join, and we'll be.
If you ever want to, get a feel for what we're thinking about things, like right away, or what any other fans are thinking, our Discord is a good place to talk about Mega Man and other things gaming.
But anyways, all right. Well, we've had quite a discussion.
Yep.
It is also very late.
Very, very, very late. We've had a long day.
Yep. And
tomorrow, start on that analysis.
Oh yeah, boy.
Don't know how long it's gonna take me, but it's probably gonna kill me. Let's be honest.
Yeah, if it was
Especially because not all the information is available yet. There's still gonna be more and more coming.
Yeah, if it was anything like Burst, yeah, it's gonna be
Yeah, Mighty Gumball Burst was a nightmare because every time I thought it was done, there was more stuff coming out that I had to look at. It's probably gonna be the same story of this game.
Yeah. Boy, is it. Oh gosh.
I can't wait though. I mean, even when I was taking notes earlier, it hit me in the middle of the trailer that like I'm actually analyzing a brand new Mega Man game, not a spin-off, not Mighty Gunvolt, not Mighty Number 9, not Azure Striker Gunvolt. It's the real thing. And that gives me really giddy.
I think the thing that makes us really giddy is the fact that in the future we're actually going to be let's playing an actual new game.
An actual new Mega Man. Like, this is technically going to be a new game. This is technically going to be the first big new release for Mega Man that I'll be covering as like a YouTuber. Day one, man. Because like there was, I think, so like the Star Force games and some other ones like the collections came out when I first started YouTube, but that was so long ago and I didn't even have the capture equipment to do it properly. But this time I'm ready, dude. I'm so ready.
I'm ready.
I'm ready.
My body is so ready.
Oh man.
Oh yes.
I'm ready to take out that Mega Buster and put on my Mega Man because I am ready.
My body's Reggie.
Oh, always.
That's the most exciting thing. It's gonna be on the Switch. I can play all these games on the go, anywhere I want.
Yeah, boy.
Like, oh my god, Mega Man X4 on the go. Bruh.
Mega Man 11 on the go.
Oh yes. I hope this game doesn't have any performance issues on the Switch.
Sonic Forces.
I don't think it's gonna be that bad. If there will be, it probably won't be as bad. I do have confidence they will optimize it nicely.
I do have confidence too. I think Capcom understands how important the 60 FPS experience, like smooth, tight controls, is for Mega Man. So I don't think they'll let us down. Like, they hyped it up so much that if this game sucks now, the future wouldn't look so great for Mega Man. I'll say that much. So, game, please don't suck.
Please don't suck. If Bubsy can somehow come out with a decent game, rivals, and so.
Are you sure? Are you sure it was decent?
I actually don't have any.
Oh boy, I've heard nothing but negative about that game.
Me too. Me too.
Oh gosh.
I actually don't know how Bubsy came out, so I was just saying that as like a motivation.
I do have confidence though that it'll do at the very least good.
Maybe it will be the mania for Mega Man. Who knows?
It might be.
Could be.
We'll just have to wait and find out.
I hope so, man.
Alrighty. Well, it's been quite fun.
Yep. Thank you guys for watching. Of course, stay tuned to the channel right here on ShadowRockZX for more on Mega Man 11 and everything else Mega Man. So, thank you guys, all you viewers for watching, of course, and Sapphire and TGP for joining for the discussion.
Of course.
Alright, guys. See you guys next time. Rock on.
Peace out.